Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to speak on a subject because I was doing some, just some reflecting on my old life and where I am today in my new life. Just to know, because this is my afterlife of my old life. So I just wanted to do some viewpoints or perspective of what I've noticed since I've left and me and my husband left and everything else that unfolded. So people are saying that my son is not my son, saying that this mysterious woman that we do not know who is not his mother viewpoint. So I just wanted to clarify on this information. Like, yes, yeah, like, yeah, my husband married his sister. So I was the fourth oldest. He was the third oldest. He married his sister. That's who he had his last child by, and that was the person he had all his kids by. It was never, oh, there was a lesser wife. No, even in the couple of Amarna and everything else, it was just us, always under each other. Of course, there's side viewpoints where men feel like that's not what a man should do. Of course, that's what generosity of generations had followed to know that knowledge. That women are just replaceable objects, not that stronghold of what you deem a woman will be based on just the appearance virtues of what you could notice of her. No, women are good empowerment. They're also strong and structured. They're not just this weak opposing force in a man's life, just to say that, oh, all they're good for is just the opportunity of the arousalness towards each other. No, it's not that. That's not how it would ever be in a viewpoint, because that's not the subject of hand at any type of means. We loved each other. That's why we have 6 daughters. We had one son. That's all. But of course, in general, gener the whole the idea of revolutions of viewpoint for women changed because of me. Man didn't like the viewpoint because, remember, you guys, I wasn't the best. Like, because of course, I mean, you're taking on the role of being a king, of course. So, of course, you're living up to your potential as such. And as you guys know, I am an intersex woman too. So, I'm living my subject of being my full self, not just half of a viewpoint for man's agendas. Because, it's like, oh, yeah, men are supposed to have like multiple different women and bear multiple different kids with a variety of different women just to spread their genes. You could do that, yes, but a woman also should be nurtured and provided for and cared for on her own terms and on his terms. So that way she could feel the wholeness of love that she actually has in life, not just the love that people perceive as enough love versus everything else. So yeah, so I just wanted to clarify that really quickly because the younger lady, Nefertiti, the younger lady, Nefertiti, yeah, those are the equal forces of what people kept trying to like strive for. Because remember, I was hated because, of course, in ancient times, woman empowerment trying to become king unsettled men's minds because, of course, they feel like they could rule being a king viewpoints, a perspective versus a woman being the strong threshold in a kingdom. So, of course, it was always that negative viewpoint. So, of course, if I'm going to be the strong king that I set out to be, the ruler and the person that provides the structural viewpoint of being the breadwinner also in my husband's life, then of course, yeah, of course, there's a lot of things that go on into that subject where I have to come into this masculine role and this alpha role even more deeper just so I can get centered into my role as king for my man, and as the king for a kingdom perspective, not just, oh, you're just good enough for your attractional viewpoints for men's agendas versus not anything else that's subject to be true. It's like, yeah, my masculinity outshines a lot of men's masculinity. It does. Yeah, it does, of course. Because I'm a hard-earned breadwinner, a worker type of female, not just somebody that doesn't do anything and just wants to sit and then suspect a man just to provide everything. And that's just the way a woman history unfolded. Is the more I look back into ancient history, that's how man wanted the woman agenda to look like for a woman's perspective. But that's not That's not any of the factual evidence of that's been proven in the reality, because they remember they deleted hieroglyphics because we made a religious revolution over one god. So of course it unsettled that, and then a woman trying to become king and taking care of all the nurturing providence that she's giving her man didn't like that, of course, because it's the opposing force for a man's agenda. So of course, it's just too much in one. And it gives me a headache, because it's like, yeah, no, saying this he say she say debate of who was the King Pharaoh's mother. Yes, that's why I'm here, you guys, because that's the person that made it from ancient times was me. Nobody else made it from ancient times in history of ancient revolutions and ancient Egypt revolutions in life. I'm the only one that made it in this next dynasty of life. There's nobody else. Like all the other greats, they didn't make it to the next life, but I'm the only one who brings stronghold and threshold, because I'm the last one standing in the royal bloodline. Not somebody else is still standing. There's nobody else is standing in the royal bloodline. Everybody viewpoint, because of the idea, because nothing lasts forever. Yes, nothing lasts forever, exactly. So on the threshold, on that viewpoint, man, because in current day of society, you know how men are used in protection of women, especially when you have different things of religious movements that want to set up the idea that women are supposed to be very weak and submissive, and just slave masters and everything else viewpoints too, that's all a woman should be. That's all what a woman should be. But no, we had 6 daughters and we had 1 son. Like, so I gave him the last heir to the throne, and I am the last one, since I'm the only last one in the bloodline standing. So I basically succeeded the expectations for a man's viewpoint and a woman's viewpoint, because you're with your man, you stay strong, you fought everything of viewpoints that people kept going against you with, just to bring him happiness. And that's what a man's agenda don't want to see a woman be able to do for a man. They want to see all of, like, oh, she was a hit and miss opportunity type of viewpoint, because the slave masters is the reason that were taught that viewpoint. And then of course men from ancient times also wanted to breed into that viewpoint for a woman's perspective too. But that's not even the case of anything that's subject to be true. That's not the subject at hand, and that was never the subject to be true. But I want to say thank you for watching, you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.